Hello everyone and welcome to today's very special edition of the Cheat Meal presented by Deep Fried Draft. Today we're going to do our final official mock draft for the 2018 NFL Draft. As I'm recording this, we're about 30 or so hours away from the start of the draft. It's been a long grind. I mean, it goes back to, for me, I immediately started on these prospects last summer, doing write-ups and everything, and now here we are. 2018 NFL Draft, we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to go pick by pick of who I think is going to be drafted where. And you may have saw the random mock draft the other day. That was fun. This is for real. This is the one. And I'm going to talk, maybe different scenarios and such as we go about it. So, without further ado, let's get right into it with the Cleveland Browns coming off an 0-16 season, the number one pick in the draft. They passed on quarterbacks, traded out when they had a chance to draft quarterbacks the last couple of years. They can't do that again. So, with the number one pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns will select Sam Darnold, quarterback, Southern Cal. There has been a report just came out of Mary Kay Cabot of the Cleveland.com saying the Browns are down to Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield. I'm not buying all that. It's been Darnold for a while now, I believe, and I'm thinking that's where we're going to go here. Sam Darnold, number one pick in the NFL Draft. The New York Giants would pick 2. I've wavered back and forth on this the last couple of days, but I'm going with my gut. The Giants go with the pass rusher, Bradley Chubb, the edge rusher from NC State, to replace Jason Pierre-Paul and start that process. The Giants will punt on quarterback this year. Feel they maybe have 1 or 2 more years left of Eli Manning. And I think they'll also pass on Saquon Barkley just because the price tag will be too high for a running back with the second pick in the draft. So, Giants go with Bradley Chubb, the edge rusher from NC State. The New York Jets traded a bunch of second-round picks to move up from 6 to 3. They're drafting a quarterback. Quarterback that's been linked to them the most here recently is Baker Mayfield, the quarterback from Oklahoma. That's where we're going to go from here. Baker Mayfield is the pick to go to Broadway here for the New York Jets. The Cleveland Browns, with the pick acquired from the Houston Texans. I've gone back and forth on this one. I've had Harold Landry, Bradley Chubb. If Bradley Chubb's available, I think he's the pick here, but he's gone in this mock draft. In a trade back scenario, I could see Harold Landry or Denzel Ward, but I think they stay with the pick, with the 4th pick, and they draft Saquon Barkley, running back from Penn State. The Denver Broncos with the 5th pick in the draft. Now, this is definitely a prime trade spot. I'm not going to officially mock a trade here, but keep that in mind when I tell you that the Denver Broncos will select Denzel Ward, cornerback, Ohio State. I think that's going to be in a move back with another team coming up to get a quarterback, but I think the Broncos could look at Denzel Ward. I think if they stay with the pick, it'll be Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame, or possibly Josh Allen if they want to draft a quarterback. But I think they're moving back here to pick up some extra picks. Look for Buffalo as a team here to trade in. Excuse me. The Indianapolis Colts in the move back with the Jets. They stay here and pick Roquan Smith, linebacker, Georgia, to be the leader of their defense. They could also go with Quentin Nelson here to help protect Andrew Luck. I could even see an outside shot of Saquon Barkley's on the board that the Colts could go there. But I think Roquan Smith is going to be the pick here for the Colts. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They could also go with Saquon Barkley if he's on the board. Derwin James is another guy considered here to be a do-everything guy in the secondary for them. Harold Landry also could be in play if they're looking for the pass rusher. But with the 7th pick in the draft, the Buccaneers select Quentin Nelson, guard, Notre Dame, to help solidify that offensive line. You can leave Ali Marpet at center and have Quentin Nelson be the day one starter at the right guard position. Chicago Bears, Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech, is going to be the pick here. If Roquan Smith was on the board, I would go with him. I think Derwin James and Quentin Nelson are both possibilities here as well. Also, don't rule out Mike McGlinchey, the tackle from Notre Dame, as well. But we're going to go with Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech, here for the Chicago Bears. The San Francisco 49ers, and this is another team I could see definitely trading back for a team that wants to come up and get a quarterback. Like, say, if, for instance, New England wants to come all the way up to get, say, Josh Rosen, I think this is your prime spot for that trade, where they would trade 23 and 31 and some other picks to come up to San Francisco's spot here at 9. But if the 49ers stay put, they have options here. If Quentin Nelson was on the board, I think he's a slam dunk pick, as well as Roquan Smith or Tremaine Edmonds. I think those both would be picks here. But San Francisco, all those guys are gone. So if they stay put, I think Derwin James, defensive back from Florida State. I say defensive back because he could be a corner for them. He could be a safety. He could be a combination of both. I think Derwin James is one of the best defenders in this draft, and I think the 49ers will be getting great value here at 9 if they stay here and make the pick. With the 10th pick, the Oakland Raiders. Now, this is interesting because I've heard them linked to offensive tackles here recently, and if you stick to the old Raiders MO, go get the athlete. Well, the athlete at offensive tackle is Colton Miller from UCLA. Is he ready to be a starting left tackle in the NFL right now? Probably not. But he is athletically gifted, and I think he's a guy the Raiders will probably like. They could also go with a safer Mike McGlinchey here. Maybe even Minka Fitzpatrick from Alabama. But here we're going to go Colton Miller, offensive tackle UCLA, to the Oakland Raiders at pick 10. Pick 11, the Miami Dolphins, is another team I think could possibly look at trading up for a quarterback. If they do, I think the target would be Josh Rosen if they do move up. I could also see him staying put and replacing Ndamukong Suh with Vita Vea. You could also see Minka Fitzpatrick or Derwin James here if either one were available. But for the sake of this mock draft, we're going to probably say that the Dolphins at some point will trade up with somebody and draft Josh Rosen, quarterback UCLA. So for the sake of this mock draft, pick 11 will be Josh Rosen, quarterback UCLA, to the Miami Dolphins. Pick 12, and what I assume will be a trade up with somebody, Josh Allen, quarterback Wyoming, for the Buffalo Bills here. I really don't see anybody else. Maybe Josh Rosen. If they like him more than Allen, they should. But in this case, I'm going to say Josh Allen, quarterback Wyoming, to the Buffalo Bills at pick 12. Pick 13, the Washington Redskins. Could look at Minka Fitzpatrick here. Denzel Ward, if he were on the board, possibly. Maybe even Darius Geis here at pick 13, if that's where they want to go. But Vita Vea, the defensive lineman from Washington, will be the pick here for the Washington Redskins. Green Bay. Need to get a pass rusher. You could look at Marcus Davenport possibly. Maybe a corner in Denzel Ward if he's available. Josh Jackson or Jair Alexander at corner. But here we're going to go with another edge rusher and Harold Landry from Boston College. Top 10 talent. Falls to the Packers at 14. Pick 15. If Arizona doesn't move up for another quarterback, I think the pick here will be Lamar Jackson, quarterback Louisville, if the Cardinals stand pat at 15, which I predict they will do that here. If all other quarterbacks are gone, I think Marcus Davenport may be their fallback option. Pick 16, the Baltimore Ravens. You could see a receiver here, possibly even a tight end, but the value too great here to pass on Alabama defensive back Minka Fitzpatrick. The Alabama connection is there, obviously, with Ozzie Newsome in the front office of Baltimore and what will be his final NFL draft. But we're going to go with Minka Fitzpatrick for Alabama here, from Alabama for the Ravens. Pick 17, the Los Angeles Chargers. Another team that could possibly move up for a quarterback, maybe. But they need some more help on the offensive line. They got two great guards last year, although one missed the entire season, Forrest Lamp. But you have Dan Feeney, Forrest Lamp at guard. So let's go get us a left tackle and Mike McGlinchey from Notre Dame, if he's available on the board here. If he was to say go earlier to the Raiders, then you could see them fall back to Colton Miller maybe, or Connor Williams. But here we're going to go Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle Notre Dame, to the Chargers. Seattle at pick 18, another team that could also use offensive tackle help, but they also have to start repairing their secondary, and they're going to go here, I predict, with a long corner with great ball skills. Josh Jackson, corner Iowa, here pick 18 to Seattle. Pick 19 for Dallas. Receiver could be an option after the release of Des Bryant. You could see them looking at DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Cortland Sutton. I've heard linked to Dallas a lot. But they also need help at linebacker, and that's going to be the pick here. Leighton Vander Esch, the linebacker from Boise State. I've seen linked to the Cowboys a lot, so we're going to go there with this pick. Detroit, pick 20. Interior offensive line, possibly. But more in line, probably either an edge rusher or interior defensive line is where you'll see the Lions go. And with that being said, we're going to go with the upside pass rusher from UTSA, Marcus Davenport, here, pick 20 to the Detroit Lions. Pick 21 with the Cincinnati Bengals. They could go any number of ways. Could be BPA, could be, interior offensive line, interior defensive line, linebacker. I mean, they could go everywhere. I would not even be surprised if Lamar Jackson was somehow still hanging on the board if they considered him at 21. But all that being said, I think center is above and beyond the team's biggest need at this point. And so with that being said, they go with the athletic power center here from Arkansas, Frank Ragnow from Arkansas, center at pick 21. Pick 22, Buffalo. If they still have this pick, if Buffalo still has this pick at 23 or 22, I should say, if they don't trade it and a move up, we're going to go with Deron Payne, defensive lineman from Alabama, here for Buffalo. Pick 23, the New England Patriots acquired from the Los Angeles Rams. They acquired this pick in a trade when they traded Brandon Cooks. So they need to add another receiver. And Calvin Ridley, wide receiver from Alabama, will be the selection here by the New England Patriots. Pick 24, the Carolina Panthers. Went back and forth on receiver, secondary. But I think they also go with an interior offensive lineman. They go with a center as well. They go with a very athletic center from Iowa, James Daniels. Pick 24. Pick 25, the Tennessee Titans. They need a guy to play linebacker. They need a starting linebacker. They're going to get one here with Rashaan Evans, linebacker from Alabama. The Atlanta Falcons pick 26. Every mock draft I've done, interior defensive line has been the pick. That's not going to change here in the final one. This one, Taven Bryan, defensive lineman from Florida, is the pick for Atlanta. The New Orleans pick, I've gone back and forth all day on. Could it be center? Could it be tight end, wide receiver, corner? But every mock draft I do, I always end up coming back to this. So I'm not going to change it now. Dallas Goedert, tight end, South Dakota State. I have to go with my gut. And my gut tells me he's the pick for the Saints here at 27. Pick 28, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's upgrade at corner here and get Jair Alexander, one of the better cover corners in this draft, 28 to Pittsburgh. Jacksonville could go with interior offensive line, maybe even a tight end. But is Blake Bortles the long-term deal there in Jacksonville? I don't know. They could trade out of the first round. That's possible, I guess. But with this case, I'm going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars select quarterback. And the 6th quarterback drafted now in the first round, if this holds up, Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State, the pick to Jacksonville. Minnesota, they revamped their offensive line last year. They're going to continue that with the selection of Will Hernandez, guard, UTEP, here pick 30 to Minnesota. Pick 31, New England, Nate Solder out at left tackle. We got to get better on the offensive line. Connor Williams, offensive tackle from Texas, the pick here for the New England Patriots. And pick 32, one I've pretty much gone with almost every mock draft now for the Eagles. I've come back to it again. Darius Geis, running back LSU, to the Philadelphia Eagles. They could also go tight end, maybe Mike Gesicki here, but I think Darius Geis is the pick for the Eagles. So that's it, 1 through 32. Last year my mock drafts sucked. Pretty much my mock drafts have sucked the last 5 years. So take all this, what you just watched, with a grain of salt, because I'm not the best at this. But I'll have fun doing it. And I'm just trying my best here to figure out what the hell is going to happen 30 hours from now in the 2018 NFL Draft. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy all my videos. Follow me on Twitter at Deep Fried Draft. Facebook.com/Deep Fried Draft. Search YouTube, search the cheat meal, search Deep Fried Draft. Subscribe so you can get alerted when these videos come up. And I do some podcasts somewhere too. DeepFriedDraft.com. Everything is there. Find it there, DeepFriedDraft.com. Thanks everybody for watching. Until next time.